Hey guys, so I just want to do a short video. I haven't been on for a while doing videos and this such way. So I wanted to just read a chapter out of my book, Spirology, A Hero's Journey. And the title is 777 EMP. Right, so let me stop before I go into this anyway. So for those of you who do know what I do around universal numbers, you'll know that it's a more quantum way of learning, teaching angel numbers, like an upgraded version of that. So 777 in my world is well done. EMP stands for electromagnetic pulse, but not in the way that many people perceive that it is possible and has been put out in mainstream media in the past couple of years. That's not going to happen. Anyway, today is the 31st of March 2022, and as I dropped my daughter off and walked the dog, I noticed the words slow down and then due on a number plate. So this is how I see people's names and stuff when I'm out and about. Knowing this coming from Julie's higher self, with a head full of information around possibilities that may come in, stocking up food, water, and other necessities, along with doing normal everyday stuff, I was finding it hard to concentrate on more than one thing. After I got in from walking the dog, I decided to go for a sunbed, and a receipt fell out of my car door with Sainsbury's on it and the number 1010. So 1010 for me is listen to your intuition. So I did, and thought I had to get fuel from Sainsbury's fuel station. Nope. There was a big van in the fuel station with the words emergency announcement on, so I decided to go to Morrison's instead and put £20 worth of fuel in, as I remember my guide saying we'll need a full tank come the week ending before Easter holidays. As I drove towards the place I go for a sunbed, I saw a truck with the words inbound goods on there, and shortly after 777 with the letters EMP next to it. So like for your number plate, I can't gobbledygook then. They're in a straight line, right? So I had 777 and then the letters EMP. So beknownst to me, or whatever you say it, I didn't know this was the beginning of going from numbers and bringing in words to work with my intuition and for near future possible things to come in, events, or however you want to call them. This was the beginning of it, and the beginning of learning quantum. I had oh my god, repeated thoughts in my head about the letters EMP, and had even ordered cards to go in our phones unconsciously. So many of us, when we're going through or still going through things right now, we might do things unconsciously or like subconsciously without knowing the reason, and just letting go and having faith and trust in those things. Because I know I did it in 2019, and I was putting food and stuff away, and I phoned my mate up and I was like, are you doing this random stuff? And she was like, yeah, don't worry about it. And it turned out to be a benefit. Seeing these words drop my mood to a lower state. I mean, who the hell would have believed me if I told them, right? I knew of an event that was a possibility of a huge solar flare coming in off the sun that will affect the ring of fire, but I never understood to this effect. Just before I walked into the sunbed shop, there was a van parked up with the words Atlas groundwork on it. And for some reason, I knew I had to look it up, as it was not the first time I had been given the words Atlas. I had a feeling it was some kind of project. So that's like the knowing part. I was glad to relax for a moment, having my sunbed with music playing, but I couldn't switch my mind off to the possibilities of what an EMP could actually do to our bodies and electronic equipment. Today, I paid the rest of my money to join a do-it-yourself website academy, and was glad that I had something else to focus on. The lady running it was fab, and I look forward to working with her and the other guys on the course. I felt really deflated and tired today, so I had to take a nap, and my plans of giving out a message from my guides on my business page had gone out the window. I instead went back through my first book and added the final touches to it before I visited my friend next week, who is helping me to get it done and out into the public. Who knew how much work actually goes into doing a book? And I still stand by that, guys. It had taken me 3 years all in all, and the info in it had to go out at the right time. It's funny because I always want to rush things, but I'm being shown constantly now to go with the flow and to trust in my path and guides more so now than ever. As I researched and looked for an atlas project, I found that it was part of CERN, the Large Collider. So that's the part of the machine. There was some kind of connection with Warwick in the UK. A part of the Atlas project in the UK, the Atlas group in Warwick, and they had been researching art in the form of photography during the times of war in Lebanon, the horse races to be specific, and how people would place bets on how quick the camera would take pictures. I had never heard of a war in Lebanon and was curious to find out more details. Lo and behold, there was a period of great famine at Mount Lebanon during 1915 to 1918. World War I starvation and locusts came in to ruin crops around the same time. When I was researching the EMP, I came to an article where a man had connected the LHC, so that's large, I can't think of that, something collider, with the Bible, opening something up that would allow a swarm of locusts out, which is so random but weird how I came to it. And the article on Lebanon mentioned locusts too. What if it is the LHC that is going to cause some kind of EMP and not the solar flares off the sun? What if they collide particles and cause damage? Surely there must be protocols in place to shut a project down to stop it going too far, right? Maybe I'm reading into this too much, but I don't believe in coincidences. I believe everything happens for a reason. I have seen a vision of like fire falling from the sky, and I do wonder how all of this is connected and hope that I am wrong. I hope that this is a smaller case where an EMP may go off and cause chaos for 24 to 48 hours and take 2 weeks to get our infrastructure back up and running as quick as possible. As I'm writing this, I am being reminded to 222, which is have faith and trust, and 333, listen to guidance being given, and 77, expect miracles. And believe me, I've had loads of those since 2 years ago, and realizing self-realization around miracles, and there is a law of miracles. The Mount Lebanon Great Famine was aimed towards specific religious groups that were of Christian nature and Druze, which I've not heard of before, which over 200,000 deaths from starvation, and the population declined by 50% as European countries aided in this process to stopping goods being brought into the country. Sound familiar? That's exactly what I've written in there. I'm sure it does. It does make me curious around how they are doing their best to brainwash people into believing that the unvaccinated are the problem. So this is me putting my thoughts into words. I think it was must be 2 years ago now, March 2022. Yeah. I know that there is going to be a rise up of people this year, 2022 onwards, the Indigo Warriors who carry the Phoenix energy, as plans to implement further control on civilians will be brought to a halt. The thing is, you can observe people's behaviours on how they respond to experiences forced out by our own governments, but human behaviours are actually quite unpredictable. Those of us who are already spiritually awake and aware are already being moved towards building our own communities with many skilled people in, from accountants, scientists, to any other skills you can think of, because the 5D timeline is running along the 3D timeline, which is slowly falling away, and all the service to self infrastructures with it, which is what you can currently see right now, bit by bit. This is how it's going. Many like me who will be in between the timelines will find a way to navigate and be protected by our higher selves, guides and supported. Open your heart and allow yourself to go with the flow. That is the biggest thing that we're being taught right now, is to surrender over things and let go and go with the flow. The prophecies tell of all the positive higher end stories to keep us going through the challenging birthing times of a new civilization being birthed. I'm sure by now, if you have children you've raised, you're noticing how gifted and wise they are compared to how we came into earth, and our main duty is to build the foundations for them to carry on, and for them to be safe and well protected through the transition. So I just wanted to share that out because it came up in something earlier on, and it just reminded me of possibilities that could go on behind how can I say this, things that are being shown for what they're not, as in like solar flares coming in and a machine that is underneath a lot of countries and can be switched on and cause electromagnetic pulses. Not in the way that we've known from the past, but it could possibly, add something to where we are right now. Yeah. So like there are smoke screens being put out from, like, if you remember the times around 1999, and they were saying, oh my god, all the internet's going to go down, this is going to happen, there's a bug that's going to be out and it's going to reset the whole of the internet and it's going to cause so much damage. So there's possibilities that things are going to be said around solar flares and different things that are coming off the sun when there's actual things being covered up that are going to happen, but it's not all from natural causes. So best use your own discernment and listen to your own universal team. So yeah, if you want to know more about Spirology, A Hero's Journey, you can go to my website, amandabowden.co.uk, or you can message me with any questions that you might have. Hope you're all well, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.